Beautiful the day.
Shabbat shalom, Maya hayom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Maya hayom. Shabbat shalom, Maya hayom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
And we turn now to page 172 to sing together Matovu.
Ma tovu, ohalecha yaakov, mishinoteka Israel.
We rise as we turn to page 195 for the Berlow. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו, על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארוך הסלע. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני, יוצר המאורות. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch Ata Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. And we turn to page 200 for the calling of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
And we turn now to page 204 to sing together Mi Chamocha.
Mi kamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, mi kamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
We rise as we turn to page 205 for the tefillah.
Adonai, Ananana svatai tiftah, Ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha, Ananana
אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch Ata Adonai, Mechaye Hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, לקרא זהו זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדונינו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכינו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישלינו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נכיר גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו ממנו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני העיר הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
ישמחו
turn now to page 216 for the Pray for Shalom. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha.
We turn now to page 253 for the Misha Berach, the prayer for courage, for healing, for strength in our lives. We rise now as we turn to page 244 for Seder Kriyat Torah, the order of reading from the Torah on Shabbat.
Adonai, Vari, Itamu.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai HaGedula, HaGevura, HaTiferet, HaNitzach, HaHod. Ki kol bashamayim uvaretz, ki kol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, yamid nasir, likol lirosh.
Please be seated. We're going to read from our Torah portion, which is called Emor. It's towards the end of the book of Leviticus, and it deals mainly with three things. There are a lot of priestly laws, the purity of the priests, the rituals that the priests do. Then there's a very detailed part about the festivals and holidays that the biblical Israelites were commemorating. And then at the end, we have a very strange story about someone who is kind of a hybrid person. His father is an Egyptian and his mother is an Israelite, so he is not an Egyptian and not an Israelite. He's kind of not here and not there in our midst. And he curses the name of Adonai, our God, because of the way that he's treated by the fellow Israelites. A very weird story. We will focus on that story actually there. But I just want us to remember that the context is that we're dealing with laws that have to do with the holiness, the sacredness of the sacred space and the holiness of the sacred time, that the festivals of Adonai in the Bible. So all of a sudden, with all this discussion about how to keep our public sphere sacred, and in this Torah portion, the word kadosh, sacred or holy, appears 40 times more than any other part of the entire Bible, even of the Torah portion of last week that is called Kedoshim, holy. So there's a lot of discussion about sacredness and holiness, and all of a sudden we have exactly the opposite. Someone who is profaning the name of God, who is cursing the name of Adonai, our God. Let's start with the blessing on page 250, and then we'll get to the reading and try to understand it.
Baruch et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
ויצא בן אישה ישראלית והוא בן איש מצרי בתוך בני ישראל, וינצו במחנה בין הישראלית ואיש הישראלי, ויקוב בן האישה הישראלית את השם ויקלל, ויביאו אותו אל משה, ושם אמו שלומית בת דוברי למטה דן, ויניחיו במשמר לפרס להם על פי אדוני, לפרש להם על פי אדוני. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, הוצא את המקלל אל מחוץ למחנה, ושמחו כל השומעים את ידיהם על ראשו ורגמו אותו כל העדה. ואל בני ישראל תדבר לאמור, איש איש כי יקלל אלוהיו ונשא חטאו ונקב שם אדוני, מות יומת, רגום ירגמו בו כל העדה, כגר כאזרח בנקבו, שם יומת.
There came out among the Israelites a man whose mother was Israelite and whose father was Egyptian. And a fight broke out in the camp between the half-Israelite and a certain Israelite man. The son of the Israelite woman pronounced the name in blasphemy, and he was brought to Moses. Now his mother's name was Shlomit, daughter of Dibri, of the tribe of Dan. And he was placed in custody until the decision of Adonai should be made clear to them. And Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the blasphemer outside the camp, and let all who are within hearing lay their hands upon his head, and let the community leadership stone him. And to the Israelite people speak thus, anyone who blasphemes gods shall bear the guilt, and one who also pronounces the name eternal shall be put to death. The community leadership should stone that person. Stranger or citizens, having thus pronounced the name, shall be put to death." So we have this kind of weird story, which we don't really understand what happened there. The rabbis are saying that the Israelite person was treating the half-Israelite person in not a kind way. We know it from our own society that sometimes the strangers in our midst, the others in our midst, are treated in a poor way, in an unfair way. The half-Israelite, half-Egyptian, if there can be someone that is half and half, not in our community of today, either you're one of us or you're not, either you're Jewish or not, but he loses his temper and curses Adonai, blames Adonai for that, and is brought into custody. And then the fascinating thing happens. We read in Exodus 18 that the main job of Moses was judging all day. Moses was a professional judge, and he always gave decisions. We call the laws of the Torah of Moses, and the law the teachings of Moses. And we have that misconception that Adonai gave Moses the Torah, even though the Torah never says that, but we have that misconception that Adonai gives Moses the Torah on top of Mount Sinai, and that is it. Those are eternal laws that are for eternity, and it's the divine law, and it cannot be changed. And here in the Torah, and it's not the only place, there are 4 places where we have different stories, but with a similar conclusion. We have a situation that was not predicted, and that's what happens in the legal system all the time. That's why you need a judge. If everything was predicted and everything was clear, then you wouldn't need judges. But the judge needs to see what happened and to say, okay, my guess is that that's what the law says. But in this case, there is no legal system that predicted such a situation. So they put the person into custody, and Moses goes and asks God, what should I do in this occasion? And Adonai says to Moses, that's going to be the law from now on, and that is the law from now on. So what is actually the teaching here? What is the message here? Adonai is actually telling Moses, and the story is telling us, the teaching is for us till today, that there's no such thing as a divine law that was given to Moses in Sinai and cannot be changed by a human being. That the laws of the Torah, the teachings of the Torah of the Torah is actually an evolving thing that is ongoing forever. And since we don't have a system anymore for us to turn to Adonai and to say, well, you didn't predict this thing, so what are we going to do now? Then it's up to us. But here in the Torah we see how our society till today has misconception about what the Torah is all about and what divine law is all about. There is no such thing as an unchanging divine law according to the Torah. According to the Torah, it's always changing, and it's actually up to us to make sure that it's adopted in the right way for our society and our society needs. Let's say the blessing after reading from the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe, v'yad Moshe. Al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe, v'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael.
And we rise as we turn to page 283 for the Aleinu. We read together. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and establishes the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. We continue together on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., David Frankel, Betty Gordon, Sol Loeb, Philip Feitelson, Rabbi Joseph Gallinger, Florence Ross, Herman Shapiro, Marvin M. Bronner, Sarah Jane Drydell, Neil Lerner, Lily Cardwell, Gertrude Goldstein, Leah Nustad, Ben Robinson, Alan Waldman, Inga Berman, Edith Norton, Maurice Perellis, Harry Perlmutter, Julia Victor, Lester Ensign, Frank Fleischaker, Leon Fuchs, Henry Harris, Susan Katz, Lester Lipton, Daisy Schrader, Sarah Myers, Jeanette Bornstein, Charles Davis. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.